I want to tell you about a medical remedy that has been passed down for generations so we can all enjoy good health. But first, let me share with you the following idea. The Torah tells us about a mitzvah to bring the first fruits of a crop to Jerusalem, into the Holy Temple, to be given as an offering to the Kohanim. This was done with tremendous celebration. A Jewish farmer would earmark all the first fruits to appear on the trees, and when they were ripe, they were put into these decorative baskets. Sometimes they were made of pure gold or silver. And then he would join this large procession that would travel on foot to Jerusalem, to the temple. There was music and singing the whole way, and the people living in the city would come out to greet them, and sometimes even the king was there to escort them up to the temple. Once inside, the Jewish farmer made a verbal declaration when handing over the fruit to the Kohen, which was clearly a huge display of gratitude to Hashem, mentioning being saved from Egypt, having been given the land of Eretz Israel, and being able to enjoy massive amounts of produce. Now, why do we have this mitzvah? Why all the fanfare? So you'll tell me, well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, because we worked so hard to produce a crop and we were blessed with fruit, so now we have become obligated to show gratitude to Hashem. But the sages teach us just the opposite. The Torah is telling us that because we are obligated to show gratitude to Hashem, that's the reason why we needed to work hard to produce a crop. Hashem could have found many ways to give us fruit, much easier ways. Instead, He created nature in such a way that to get fruit, we work the soil, and then we plant seeds. We daven that the trees and grapevines will grow, and once they do, we still pray to Hashem that they'll produce fruit. And who says the fruit will be sweet? And let's not forget that everything depends on the weather. The farmer has to constantly be davening for rain in the right amount and at the right time. As every day passes, he realizes his success is out of his control, and he relies more and more on Hashem. So when he finally sees the fruit, it's with tremendous gratitude that he harvests his crop. And that's exactly what Hashem intended. All Hashem wants is for us to recognize all the good that He's doing. That means that we have a relationship with Him. We feel close. Even the things that don't go exactly our way, we need to still be thankful and remind ourselves we don't see the full picture. It's all good. It's all with tremendous love. Now let me give you that medical advice I promised. I'll give it in a story. There was a man living in Israel. He woke up one day and couldn't see out of one eye. He was scared and immediately started going to doctors, but all of them said the same thing. There was nothing that could be done to save this eye. He went to get advice from the famous medical advisor Rafir, who told him to go to Boston and get an appointment with a particular doctor who's a specialist that deals with his problem. Immediately he flew and met with this expert, but unfortunately he told him the same thing. There was nothing to do. But he said even more. He said that he should schedule an operation immediately so that they'll be able to put in a glass eye before the tissue closes up and it'll be too late. Well, when he heard that, he was in shock. He went out of the office and walked to a nearby shul. He stood next to the Aron, where the Torah scrolls are kept, and he started talking to Hashem. He didn't ask for things, but instead he first apologized for not thanking Hashem enough for all of His kindness. And then, for 3 straight hours, he thanked Hashem for everything and anything that he could think of. After doing that, he then asked Hashem, "Please, heal my eye, only so that I could thank you again for such a great miracle." When he finished, he went back to the doctor's office and asked the doctor to re-examine his eye. The doctor looked at it and was amazed to see that it was a normal infection that could be cleared up with some pills and drops. When he got back to Israel, he hosted a special meal for his friends and family to tell the story and thank Hashem publicly for this great miracle. 2 months later, a friend called and said he was at the meal and heard his story. He said, "I have 2 daughters. One is 30 and the other is 32. When you told over your story, I was desperately trying to find a match for them. I went back home and told my family your story and asked them to write down all the good things Hashem has done for them throughout their entire life since they were born. We all sat for a few hours writing and writing. We finished and then we stood up together and said thank you to Hashem and asked to please find an exceptional zivug for each daughter so that we can once again have the opportunity to thank Him. 1 month later, The oldest daughter got engaged, and within 2 days, the second daughter also became a Kala. That, my friends, is the power of gratitude.